Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So we are going to be replacing a culvert today. We're by the Stark County Airport, so it's kind of gloomy and rainy and wet. It is November 18th, so we're starting to get into our winter season now. Late fall, early winter. Winter's coming. It reminded us of that about a week or so ago when we got 6 to 8 inches of snow. Didn't stick very well, but we had some accumulation there for a while. Maybe about 4 inches stayed for quite a while. But what I'm getting at is we probably won't see many airplanes today, because I just don't think they're flying much today with the weather that we're having. So this is the culvert that we're replacing right here. Goes under the road. We got power lines overhead to deal with. There's the end of the pipe. It's under kind of a fence there. And then on this end, we've got a water control structure to deal with. We've dealt with these before. Actually, just about a mile from here was the last one we did. If you remember that video, we left that in the ditch. We didn't mess with it because them are concreted in. If you remember video, I think it was last spring, my cousin Matt's, we done one where we actually tore one of them water control structures out. There's a lot of concrete under there. If you remember from that video, that was a big chunk to deal with. It's all the 220 wanted to get it out of there. So this one, we don't have to disturb that because we don't need to lower it. It can stay where it's at. So we're going to get set up here. We might have to go get the 17 Z9A Hyundai. I've got the 220 right now. Got the T870 Bobcat on hand. So might just need the 17 for doing some precision digging, as we will have to get it unbanded from the water control structure and have to get something wrapped around it to reband it. So there's going to be quite a bit of precision digging. Plus there is a 12-inch culvert that goes from the side of this one to catch that other crossing there. So, and it looks like we have a gas line and we have some fiber to deal with. So that's going to be fun too. So definitely probably going to want the Mini. So let's get started. Cut out, and I started with my Mini with the JMA attachment skeleton bucket, trying to peel this asphalt out, and it just proved to be too hard. Thought, well, I'd do it with Mini, that way I could peel it out and keep the dirt out of it. There was a hole washed here and they kept filling it in with asphalt and packing it in. We did cut the road. there's multiple layers of asphalt here. It's pretty deep. Cut line right there. There we go. Break that stuff up some. So when the county marked for their locates, they used orange paint. So that's why I thought there was so many fiber utilities. This fiber's orange. So I'm gonna have to get on them about using white paint. White paint's for marking for locates. Should have probably brought my tooth bucket for the 220. Would help if I was sitting level. Go ahead and move a little more here. There we go. Now we're level. Second layer asphalt. George got through the first layer, but the saw just wouldn't cut deep enough. There we go. Away from there so we're not losing our gas line markings. Windshield wiper. repaved next year anyways. So whatever asphalt we do tear up is going to get redone. It'll just get limestone for now. The rest of this cleaned up. A few crumbs are here, and then we'll get started digging. Good. Well, apparently the gas line must be bored under this culvert, because right there is the culvert, and right there is what I think is a tracer wire. Surely that can't be the gas line, unless somebody's got a dollhouse somewhere they've got plumbed up to natural gas, but that's got to be tracer wire. So they must have bored under and put the tracer wire over the top of the trencher or something. So I guess we'll just keep digging, but we're on our markings. There's our markings right here, and there is no gas line present. And then we never did find a fiber optic on that side, and we've dug well into the road and no fiber optics, so it must all be bored underneath. So all right, I guess we'll get the big hoe and start ripping. All right, oops. All right, let's clean this off a little bit. Put this somewhere where I can keep it separate, since that's stone. We might reuse that, we might not. We'll see what happens. Band. Dumped a lot of limestone on that. That's where we gotta make your connection, right there. So it goes from aluminum to a steel pipe. Alright, now I gotta get this little culvert dug out that's under me. I'm gonna stack some of that dirt over here, just so I don't have so much in my way on the road. 12-inch pipe should be down in there somewhere. There it is, I feel it now. Yep, I see it. There it is. Alright, finish getting this one dug out, and then we'll move over to the big one and get it dug out. this big one out now. Wish this fence wasn't here for the airport. I could set some in this field beside me. It's always the hard part, what to do with the dirt. Tracer wires in there. Had to get George to move the Bobcat bucket because I was going to bury it if not. Just got another attachment from JMA Attachments. I got a 36-inch ditch bucket for my Mini. That's going to be cool to use. Smooth edge. It's got some holes in it to let the water out. Nice little bucket. I really like the skeleton bucket. Been using that quite a bit. Remember, if you mention me at checkout at JMA Attachments, you can get a discount on your attachments also. I'm going to eventually get a big one from them. Not sure what I'm going to get yet. Either the tooth bucket for the 270 or a big skeleton bucket to go on the 200 or the 220. That's my next purchase I'd like to make from them. I really like the way that the two buckets that I have so far are designed. They're pretty heavy built. I was impressed. Just take this little section of fence out right here. I don't see what much good it does. Finish digging this out. I'll turn the video back on when I start ripping it out. Well, we're to the point now where we can just pull it out. got that figured out. So we got to cut a hole in the pipe, and Dad's thoughts were, well, it'd be easier to do it up here so we can torch it out up here versus down there in the hole. And he is right. Oh man, it was starting to come too. Trying to drag it out from under this wire. There it goes. Keep working it. There it's going. Water control structure stayed put, so that's a good thing. The last time I had to get down in the ditch and cut the one, that wasn't very much fun, so that's why it's thinking we'll cut it above ground and set it in there. Worst comes to worst, we'll just have to chain the pipe and turn it a little bit to make it line up the way we want. Is all out. Now I can go through and clean things up, shape them, get it ready for the new pipe. I'll do that. We've got our pipe already banded together, which is nice. Dad and George done that. So we can put it in pretty quick. Galvanized crap don't cut worth a darn. Alright, so this is going to be interesting. Don't have much room to work. We're getting a chain on the other end, so once we set it down in, we can pick it up and drag it back under the wire and get it shoved in our water control structure. So we'll see how this goes. See what I can do with it. George is going to spin it around for me with Bobcat. Come up beside me. He's coming somewhere. Yeah, it's a little tight behind me. Oh, he got it. So if he can shove that forward. Oh yeah, there we go. Tracer wire. We gotta stay this way. I guess we just let it fall in the hole now. See if I can turn this a little bit. So there's George, he's got that end. Go ahead and push it off in. Go, George. Dump her. There we go. Now I'll have to switch to the other chain so that I can get it in there. Now, if I can just get those two shoved together, we'll have it. It's in. Well, we got the pipe in. Everything looks good. We're on grade. We're good there. going to start backfilling it so we can get from side to side. We just have to get something to seal up around the band. We're going to get some geotextile fabric and put in there. That'll seal it all up. Wrap it around, poke it in. The problem that we have is the aluminum water control structure pipe that they use is a different size than the steel culverts. And we found this out on multiple occasions. George hit that tree limb on my way that I accidentally broke off. But anyways, we found out this before that aluminum pipe's made to a different spec than the steel pipe. So we have to come up with ways of sealing the crack up, which it's not a huge crack. It's plenty far poked in so that it's not going to be an issue of dirt falling in like that or anything like that. We just need to keep stuff from washing in that crack. So by poking something in there that will not rot, like geotextile fabric, soybean bulk bags that are made out of the same material basically, anything that just won't decompose, something of a plastic makeup will stay in there. I had a viewer ask me if anti-seep collars were necessary. No, they are not. Especially when you have a dam face like this. It is basically an anti-seep collar. I don't even think anti-seep collars are necessary, or what do you call that? Required in the state of Indiana. I have used them in the past, which is just a collar that goes around the pipe, and then it's basically a square piece that you bury in the dirt, and it keeps the water from going around it. I used one time on a water control structure in a pond. And if you ask me, it doesn't go far enough each way really to make a difference. It's just another one of them things like silt fence. Somebody came up with it just because it made them feel good. Most of the time the deer knock the silt fence down anyways. Silt fence are them geotubes that are supposed to keep sediment from leaving job sites. All them are is a tube full of wood chips. But hey, some engineer came up with that somewhere and said, oh, this is a great idea. We can give it to somebody and they can sell it. Just like getting a permit for your front porch of your house. I had to go the other day and get a porch permit because apparently when I got occupancy permit, that canceled out my building permit. I didn't know that. Thought once you had your permits, you had your permits, but oh no, that's not how it works. So I had to go pay another $50 so I could continue on my porch project. A money grab. And they do that also so they can keep track of things for your taxes. Remember, kids, taxation is theft. Let's put that one down here. want them tree roots in there. At some point I gotta get to the other side and get the rest of my dirt. Let's see what we got left here. I'm gonna build this center up so I can cross. Get this cleaned up, get across, and I get that culvert smashed up and out of my way. Well, we've got this mostly put back together. Take some of this old asphalt, pack it in there and work it down. Might as well use it. Point in hauling it off and throwing it away. George is getting the other pipe banded together so we can get that in. This stuff breaks up and crumbles up so nice that it makes a really good base. Cover that with some number 2 limestone, some 53s, grate it off, and it'll be good. Next spring, they'll come back and they'll pave it. Be like nothing ever happened. Get that root out of there. That's organic. That could cause a void. We don't want that. get that all sealed up and get the other pipe in. It started about probably 6-8 inches. Well, it got dark on us kind of quick that time of year, I guess. But I got that all sealed up. We got geotextile fabric wrapped around everything. We reused that stone that I set to the side to put over the fabric. I'm going to drag this in so I can get across to get to my big pile. I repurposed all my asphalt. Used that. Got that worked in real good. Try to reuse what aggregates you can. That way you're not using new stuff where it doesn't really need to go. Try to save the county a little bit of money. Doesn't hurt to reuse it. I mean, it's solid form regardless. It's a solid material. Might as well not just go dump it somewhere. Use it. Recycle it. bit so it's not so steep when I go across. I'll have to finish up tomorrow. I'm not going to get finished up tonight. The older I get, my eyes don't work the best in the dark anymore. I'm starting to notice that. Quite a bit of stone in that. That'll be nice in there. Wanted to kind of rough it out tonight. Rough it in, rough it out, however you want to say it. Make sure if we get a big rain, we're not going to have stuff washing out real bad. Which it shouldn't. Said a light shower, if anything, tonight. Stay overnight, come back in the morning and finish it. Well, good morning. It's the next day. I get this old culvert smashed up some here. I took the forklift this morning and loaded up my tooth bucket. Tooth bucket works way better with the thumb than the ditch bucket does. some stuff up with Bobcat. Told him, well, I'll get this culvert smashed up. Went to get some stone so we can get the road put back together. That door latch is wiggling and it's squeaking. Try to get as much dirt off as I can. Do is I'll just gently grab that whole wad. I'll set it right on the trailer, put some pressure down on it, we'll throw some chains over it, into the scrapyard we go. We tell them it's dirty culverts, and they deduct just a little off to compensate for whatever mud's left in them. And that's fine with us because it gets rid of it. We don't have this stuff piled up all over the place. Rather see it recycled than just left in a pile somewhere. Set all that on the trailer. It's not going on these trailers, it's going on the gooseneck behind the pickup. Much easier to maneuver around the junkyard with that than it is these. Well, I got the trailer where I can get to it. Go ahead and set this on there. Just like so. Go ahead and scoot it over a little bit. Oh, not sitting very level here off the edge of the road. Took that over a little bit. pressure down on it, get some chains on it. Alright, we're all chained on. Let that come back up. It's not going anywhere. We're not going real far. Scrapyard's only, what, 5 miles? Well, no. Probably 8 miles away as a crow flies. Oh, never looked it up. Stark County Airport to Howard's and Sons. I don't know. I have to look. Alright, we'll finish getting this cleaned up. We'll probably have to haul some fill dirt in because our pipes were a little longer, so they burnt some up. We got our first load of stone here. So George and I are going to start working it in. That's a number 2 limestone. It's just going to be our base. Then we'll cap everything with 53s. And we're going to use this over the ends. I'm not going to use riprap on this one. George grade that off. We got to have at least 6 inches of 53s over the top of these 2s. That's about right there. Sure there's plenty out there in case somebody gets way over there with a semi or something. We're gonna get a little fill dirt to finish some things out over here, and then we'll get another load of 2s in there. Let George grade it off. We'll get our 53s. We'll have it closed back up. go get loaded up. We'll let George finish that out. Figure knock it down just a little bit for him. That way he doesn't have to move quite as much. We'll let him string it out, get that graded off, and we're done here. Well, there we go. Pipe is replaced. Road is put back together. Now this will all green up in the springtime. Wherever we got dirt off the sides of the road, it'll all grow back. County will go back to mowing the roadsides. You'll never even know we were here. And then they'll get this repaved. They're going to bring their street sweeper out, they said, and they would scrub this dirt off the road for us. It's just kind of tough to keep the road clean when it's such nasty. This is some heavy dirt. It's got clay in it, so it's kind of sticky stuff. If it's sand, we can clean it off pretty good. But all right, this one was never stone, so we didn't put stone back on it. I did put some stone on the end of it, but turned out real nice. I think it looks good. So put some stone back on the end of this the way it should be. All right, we're gonna get out of here. We're gonna go haul the last 2 loads of corn in, and then find something else to get into. So thank you for watching. Greatly appreciate it. We'll see you all in the next one.